Hello, hello, hello. Hello again, you guys. Welcome to Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson. If you guys didn't check me out on an early show, here we are for the late show tonight, and we're gonna talk about a very interesting topic. Okay. So I am your host, Dr. Jefferson, and Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson is a platform that is built around accountability conversations that affect directly or indirectly communities of black and brown or melanated people. Okay. Got my words all misconstrued, right? But we have a host of topics and a host of people that typically you guys will send me content about and ask me to review. I'm trying to move my chair, slide my chair a little bit. And I will review that content, get back with you guys with the said content, and then we have a conversation pretty comprehensively around that material. Today we're going to talk about the very heated topic, and I think we already got a comment here on it, of sex as it relates to modern day women. And modern day women, I want to kind of go back a little bit on that first and have a little bit of a conversation, a little bit of dialogue to backtrack. So modern day women refers to the women of this and the previous generation, actually, of women who date, and the views that they maintain around dating and positioning themselves in intimate relationships or whatever, intimate partner relationships. And those all don't always look like kind of what traditional women would think or say or do. Yeah. However, we have a very interesting video to review today because I know that I don't think I brought to the forefront the I did probably reference it, but I don't think I showed you guys the video that Kevin Samuels viewed himself, of Adam 22. He also had an interview with Adam 22 at a separate time, and he it's a little odd that he would share the content of Adam 22 and talking to another person about how uncomfortable Kevin Samuels made it feel. Whatever. So we're gonna talk about this stuff today, okay? Because I feel like it's important that we have these accountability conversations, and I feel like oftentimes many of the people who follow my channel, you guys have this misconstrued notion that for some reason I'm on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence. Guess what? Only side of the fence I'm in is where the grass is, okay? And all the grass is green. All of the grass is green equally, and sometimes the shit's brown. And when I see it's brown, we're gonna have a conversation about how we can get it green. So that's what this channel is about. Let's talk about the mindsets of women and who are the main people that need to take accountability, or systems that need to take accountability for the mindsets of modern day women as it applies to financial finessing. That's what she said, right? Financial finessing in intimate types of relationships. Also, I mean, I don't think we ever really had a full-on conversation about what your guys' views were in regards to men taking back gifts that they gifted. Men, stop giving gifts that you know you can't afford, so therefore you need to take it back when you're done with the relationship. That's my view on that. So let's have this conversation. Let's review this video because it is some okay. We're gonna get right into it though. All right, y'all. Well, they about to do an ad, so let me let them do this ad really quickly, and then I'll go ahead and I'll hit the play and shut up and let you guys watch, okay?
I used to run the back end of underground lap dance parties. And so I already had a list of 10,000 verified men from New York City.
So basically prostitution.
Like strip club, lap dance, you know
because there's all kinds of weird.
Hold on. Disclaimer. I forgot to say viewers' discretion is advised. You guys will hear a lot of language here that is definitely not appropriate for children. So if you are in an environment where children are a part of that said environment, definitely go to another place and space and all that good stuff. Let's get back to this, okay?
New York City underground, because the strip clubs
Yeah.
out there are like fucking Nazi Germany, right? Like you just can't do shit. You can't get
Yeah.
naked.
Yeah. But here you can't get naked either. So yeah, no, we don't promote prostitution. Don't snitch on me, Adam. Are you kidding?
No,
Like,
I don't.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, I encourage the prostitutes of the world to just keep doing their thing, and I encourage all the guys out there, if you want to pay for some ass and smooth that out in your life, go for
I'd
it.
rather my man pay for ass than like build relationships.
Really?
Big facts.
I should ask my girl that. If she would
Yeah.
rather I cheat with just a random or a prostitute.
A prostitute, 100%. Pay that whore and come back home.
That's a good question. I should ask her
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, which one you think she would choose?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a question. Same question for you guys. Which one would you rather, right? Have you guys ever played the game Would You Rather? It's quite popular. I like it. So let's play that game now. Would you rather, ladies, men, all the same, would you rather have your potential partner cheat on you with a prostitute or some random person who is not selling themselves to your said partner? Women do buy gigolos, by the way. I'm just saying. They do. Not saying that I've ever done it, because I don't think that I would be the type of woman to step to any guy and do any type of propositioning. Kind of not my thing. But women do it. Men have a commodity too. I think oftentimes we get that whole idea misconstrued, like I am the prize as the woman, and forget that some of these men have powerful penises, literally some of them. I don't want none of that. Not that. So let's get back to this.
Because I feel like her concern, because I don't think my girl would actually believe that I have feelings for another girl.
Okay.
That would be the thing that would actually piss her off, though. If she
Okay.
thought that I was fucking a girl that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if I'm a prostitute, it's kind of like, I think she would be mad at me because I'm putting her in danger.
Right.
With STDs and stuff.
But I think prostitutes probably, I don't know. I'd never have prostituted myself. And if I did, I would say, I don't have no shame in my game.
Okay.
But I think that prostitutes, because it's their job, probably have more, probably check themselves more than girls who are just fucking guys.
Right, but if you're fucking 40 dudes a day, then I mean, your odds of getting STD are just way higher than the average.
Gross. Okay, let's
woman.
get off this conversation. This is too much for me.
Too much
It's
prostitution
disgusting.
talk.
Yeah, ew. What?
You're not into it? You fucking just said that you work in this industry.
Yeah, but prostitution is overboard.
Overboard. But
Yeah,
you
it's
just
a
don't
lot.
like talking about it, even though it's something that's realistically probably part of your life.
Adam, come on.
And you can talk about it. It's like dudes come on here and talk about selling drugs.
Yeah, they're snitching on themselves.
Are you looking
Yeah,
at me
I'm
down
saying
in
that's what the
small
show's for.
camera,
To
babe?
snitch.
Yeah.
You want to
Wow.
see me down there?
What's this blue seal of approval on your throat there?
It's a chakra, aka throat baby. You know what I mean? Take it to another dimension.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is that really what it symbolizes?
No, it's really a throat chakra, which means like speaking your truth and being authentic. So yeah,
Whoa. Yeah, the motherfucker just drive by.
yeah, he went fast.
Loud pipes.
Wow.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, would you say that the response that you've been getting from this has been mostly positive or mostly negative?
It's negative 100%, but I don't get why. Like, I'm so confused as to why it went viral to begin with still. And I don't get why people are so mad. I'm like, damn, can a bitch get her bills paid and just chill? Like,
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Can you help me understand?
I think that like you on that podcast, to a lot of people, myself included, sort of just like personified everything that's wrong with women all in one. It's just like
Okay.
one quick clip that just really exemplified everything that men are scared that women are becoming,
Mm-hmm.
which is not really that fair because you're just one woman. You only speak for yourself, really. But yeah, it definitely,
No,
I think.
speak for
well,
the city girls, the pretty girls, and the hot girls.
there's a lot of other girls
There's
too,
a lot
for
of
sure.
us.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's like when you look at like why Kevin Samuels is popular now, why Fresh and Fit are blowing up. I think it's because they just,
Majority of men are broke.
majority of men are seeing the sexual marketplace turn into something where only rich guys are being rewarded and guys are expected to just like give so much to women who basically like don't have anything to offer or aren't really like contributing or becoming part of this. It's like the standard for men is becoming so high, whereas the standard for women has sunk so low.
I don't think so.
It's just kind of like a bizarre
I don't think
reality
how
we've
has it
ended up
sunk?
in.
I don't think that it's sunk low. I think from the beginning of time, men have always been the ones who were set to, get the money and bring it back to the woman or the household in which the woman just took care of. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't think that women have, I mean, it's pretty privileged, if you're beautiful, if you have good pussy, if you know what I mean, you're in the industry or around these people, if you have some sort of intelligence, you're going to get what you want in life.
But in a previous generation, I think that the average woman would have been ashamed to acknowledge that, like, basically the main thing that she's bringing to a relationship is just good pussy and looking good.
I mean, but the truth is the truth.
I know. And in a way, that is the interesting thing, is that it's like women now are realizing the value of their own vagina and that they're choosing not to just be like groupies and to just go fuck a rapper for free.
Exactly.
Instead, they're choosing to like, okay, I'm going to like actually sort of exert some pressure to get something material out of these guys.
So that they're not used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like the more men you have sex with, the more your value goes down as a woman. And so if you're walking away with absolutely nothing, then what have you done? 15 minutes of what?
Yeah.
15
When did you feel like there must have been a time period in your life where you were just fucking for nothing? And then at some point you just kind of realized?
I mean, I don't ever fuck for anything, but there's a standard of men that I would fuck. You know what I mean? I think from young, like 13 years old, I didn't know it was finesse. We didn't know nothing about city girl stuff. You know what I mean? But guys would always try to talk to me.
Like, that's like your Bible, huh? The City Girls albums, huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Get a nigga for his bread.
I never heard them, so I don't really know
how to pimp a nigga.
I don't really know what they're talking about. I just I might have heard a song or two. I don't know. I probably heard them in the club or something. But like, I don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm being totally honest. I still haven't really like dug into all that.
I mean, it's a little bit, it's a little bit on the ratchet side. It's a little bit on the raw side. But all in all, they're saying, you don't just do these things for nothing. Get what you can out of a man. Get what you can while they're there.
Right. I think my problem is just dudes who actually accept this state of affairs and actually like feel like it's a worthwhile pursuit to like actually spend their money in that way. Well, I mean, you have to understand that I'm a guy, multimillionaire, run multiple successful businesses, etc. I've never done anything even close. And also sexually, I would say that I've been fairly successful. I've had sex with a lot of girls throughout my life, even before I had money. I have been in a relationship for 5 years, so I'm like kind of tapped out in terms of like understanding the current marketplace. But I never even, in my whole life, never even thought about buying a girl an apartment, a car. I swear to God, before the relationship I'm in now, I never spent more than like $100 on anything for a girl ever.
What? That's wild. But I mean, you also got to take into consideration that you have pretty privilege too. You have those blue eyes, you know what I'm saying? You got the light skin, you got the beard going on. So you may get away with certain things like that, but not every man is,
I don't feel like I have pretty privilege. I feel like I'm a pretty average looking guy. Also, I'm 37.
Yeah, you don't look it.
Really?
37.
No, not at all.
Well, that's
32, maybe.
32.
Yeah, you got a little Botox. You know what I'm saying? You can stay 32 for a little 5 more years.
What is Botox? Because I know my girls got it, but I never.
It makes your forehead,
it.
those lines that you got, stiff, gone, bye, young again.
The problem is though, like when you're giving head and you have Botox in your forehead, that you can't like look up the way that you're supposed to.
Really?
Well, like in porn, like if you're giving head, you can just look straight ahead. It's all good. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But when you're doing it on camera, it's kind of like required that you like, when you watch porn girls do it, that's the number one thing they do. They roll their eyes up so that like they make
I feel like
eye contact
my
with the
eyes
camera.
still go up,
They don't go up.
They do. Like, I don't get it.
It doesn't matter at time.
Okay.
Until the movement stops working.
Okay, got it.
Right.
I can't believe
Here's a question I had. What is this dude that you were talking about, your ex, who, I guess maybe lay it out for them a little bit. Explain what you said on the podcast that has been.
Okay. I just can't. I just can't believe they're having this conversation. Make it make sense to me, people. Okay, so have you guys made a decision yet? You know, 'cause I'm over here just dying. My producer is funny too. Like, I just can't. But help me understand this. So you're gonna have a conversation about Botox, the way it affects people when they're given head, and you're gonna have a conversation about the fact. Oh God. So my computer was making noises while you guys were watching it. Because I feel like he's trying to have the conversation and trying to indicate that she's a prostitute. And he continues to try to push that on her for the duration of this interview. I mean, I could definitely play more of it, but my computer made this noise while you guys were watching it because I was pulling up the other one, so I could definitely go back and reference this video. I mean, his responses to how he felt about having interviewed Kevin Samuels. Now, I could go and play the actual Kevin Samuels interview, but I just his voice. I've had enough of him today, so I'm gonna definitely stop this one for just a second, and I'm gonna go to this other video where he's talking to this other young lady who I won't give it away. Hold on. Just a second here, okay? Oh, honey, you have no idea. Like, this is something, okay? So do you think that, the world that we live in right now has conformed to prostitution being kind of like not necessarily the norm, because prostitution has already been around. There were brothels before Christianity. But do you feel like society now in Western culture is reshaping an accepted practice of prostitution? And I think that Adam does mention that, of course, that in his success sexually. And I really don't understand how guys have that mindset. So I probably need a little bit more of an understanding. You guys have probably got to explain that to me a little bit more around the man thinking that it's a good thing, a badge of honor to go out and have sex with a bunch of women. Okay. But so anyway, let's listen to this one.
Thing. So in my head, I needed to branch out more and more and more. I can't be in the room with millionaires all the time and working with them and not want to have my million. You know what I mean? And watching OnlyFans girls that I'm interviewing get fucking millions and millions. You and Lena be nasty. Like, how am I going to do it? And like, now that I see how people use their brand and keep branching, that's really what made me want to open shit up. Like, I can only talk and suck dick for so long, bro. I'm gonna get tired of shit.
That's what I actually kind of find impressive about your podcast is that you guys stay excited and interested about it, because a lot of times when I'm watching like fucking different podcasts in the hip hop sort of realm, I'm like, can y'all just stop talking about dating, like the politics of dating, or like, oh, do you think that when a guy goes out that he should pay for the girl's food? It's like,
dude,
oh
I
my
can't
God,
hear that one more time.
Are you guys really gonna fucking talk about this again? Oh my God. Like, I know I'm 37, so it's just an old conversation to me. Maybe if you're 21, it's a lot more interesting, but I just feel like so much of this relationship talk is so boring in the podcast world now.
It is. And I think that we need to start, if we're what Mandy and I are able to do, because people thought we would run out a long time. We keep reinventing that conversation with new people. I've had how many threesome conversations. Mandy's talked about the sex club over and over, but we can keep bringing people in their experiences, and that's new and exciting. Like, we just interviewed a couple, a Black dude and an Asian chick, about their cuckold relationship and him watching her and how they met. Like, that shit is interesting. Yes, we've told you what a cuckold is before, but now we're seeing it with them. And then maybe we might bring another one and their dynamic is different. And when you can bring on people to share their journey, it's the same shit. You have a music pod, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I would say like music, society, culture, whatever the genre is.
But yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's the rappers over and over, but something's different with each one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like hoes, but they like fucking a new Tristan Thompson every week. So
it's true. But like, okay, like, I really enjoyed the Kevin Samuels interview we did, but I just can't listen to another evaluation of another woman's dating situation. Like,
you had Kevin Samuels on?
Yeah. And I
think he's a terrible person.
Okay, we can talk about that. But I just have a lot of friends who like watch this shit over and over, and I'm like, bro, at a certain point, don't you feel like you've just learned enough about like unhappy women who are like having a hard time dating?
It's not.
Okay, so wait a sec. Does anybody else notice the difference in his energy having a conversation with this woman versus having a conversation with Blue Jasmine? I'm just... Are you mad or not? But anyway, let's continue to watch because I thought it was really interesting, especially when he backed off to Kevin Samuels, because he was honest. Yeah, he had Kevin Samuels on, but very much like everybody else who has interviewed Kevin Samuels and met the man in person and felt that energy in person, realizes that he's definitely a narcissist and quite the sociopath. But let's go ahead.
Like, if the clips at first to me, like, they were jarring to see, but like building a brand on shitting on Black girls, like, I don't like that.
You really think that's what it is, though?
100%. I think some of the advice has been, I would say conducive, but like for the most part, like, no, your most viral and salacious shit is really talking about women badly.
Right.
I'm like, I don't like that. Like,
but don't you think that like the women that he's shitting on, like, they deserve it?
No.
Really?
No, I don't.
I think like the point that I was so easily able to call from the Kevin Samuels thing was just like, these women are being raised to not understand what the fuck is going on. Like, they just really
telling girls they're fat, looking like a linebacker, shit like that. Like, that's fucking nuts.
The women that he says that to are the women who think that they're gonna get some. Like, I've seen these women who are like 300 pounds saying that they deserve a guy who's making $1 million a year and shit. And it's like, that's not gonna happen for you. Like, you are crazy for thinking that this is how the world works. And for him to have to even tell them that is pretty shocking to me.
It's just shocking to watch him speak that way because I don't really see the caliber of woman he could get. Like, I don't find.
But why does it have to go to that right away? I think the thing that's shocking
it goes to that right away because you do need to be exemplary of what you're saying to people. I'm not listening. That's what the Donald Trump bullshit was.
Right, but he dresses very well.
You can't tell us how we need to be a country that's this, and that when your shit is fucked up and you could barely be eloquent.
Right.
Like, don't tell me that I deserve a person who looks like this when like Kevin Samuels is 6.5, 7.
Right, but the thing about Kevin Samuels is that it's not about him. It's like, number one, like, yes, he dresses nice and he came in here with an attractive woman and stuff. So he's doing what he can to paint the picture. But I think that the main thing that his content points out is just how women have had their hand held through life so much and are so not used to being told what's real. And on the other hand, it's like, if you're a fat dude who's ugly and is not going to get any pussy, I mean, it's just, the world is lining up to let you know that you ain't shit. And a lot of these women, they
fat guys get fucked. That's not true.
They figure it out at like 35 that they're just not, the world is just not as accommodating as they've been told their whole life. And now we have Kevin Samuels to let them know. And I think that he's actually doing important work.
I can't wait for Dr. Umar to get his ass. I really hope they get him.
But Dr. Umar is living in a fantasy world. Kevin talks about real shit.
How is Dr. Umar in a fantasy?
Because he kind of relies on these like fake arguments too of being like, you say mean things to Black women. It's not really about
no,
that.
Dr. Umar is like way deep. Mind you, he's super homophobic and I can't even believe I'd be sticking up for him like this. But like, right. I have really seen Dr. Umar for the good in what he's taught people about Blackness that I fuck with him for it. I think like when I'm making the Dr. Umar Kevin Samuels joke, I really just want someone to see Kevin Samuels. Like, I want to see someone really tell him about himself because I think he needs that. I'm not that person to do that. You're not that person to do that. But Dr. Umar, I think, could really tear his ass the fuck up. Maybe.
But I don't know. I just don't think that the arguments that I heard from that viral video about Kevin Samuels, I just didn't think that's not going to hold any weight. If they're going head to head in a debate, I just think Kevin's going to wash the floor with him because it's so much more ground level perspective of how we actually know that people operate.
It's just the message that he's giving. He's not really telling you like you need to like, you know, put your standards in check. He's really like shitting on these girls to the point where he's like, this is what you deserve. And I think
those are the women who call in and ask for relationship advice. So it's kind of hard for me to like I agree. If you were to just choose a random woman in the public eye and just start rating her dating possibilities, that would be very like bad. I mean,
in a way, it's like the Jerry Springer shit, right? It's like, yo, why do they go on this show when they watch every week and they know they about to look crazy?
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe it's hard for me because of the age. Maybe because they're Black women. Like, I just feel like every clip I've seen when he's shitting on a girl, they're Black. And like, that's really hard for me to watch.
I feel like that's just his audience. Because I feel like he would be eager to talk shit to a white woman.
It might. You think so?
I don't really see, like, I don't think it's like racialized besides the fact that he just has a largely Black audience.
Well, I just mean the viral clips of like, you know, you calling girls ugly. Like they're always.
And believe me, he takes it way too far. He says the rudest, most fucked up shit I could ever think of. I mean. And he knows that he's doing that and he's going to get extra media attention from his audience for like.
But see, Howard Stern, a Charlemagne, people like that can make those moments happen without being that disgusting. That's talent. What Kevin Samuels is doing is just like mean. The way that you can bring out things to people and either get them a little riled up or angry or whatever, like that's not you really, really shitting on someone for this fucking moment. That kind of shit, I don't really like that.
I would never want to be in the position of having to do the kind of content that Kevin Samuels does. But actually, that's why I think it's almost kind of like brave, because Charlemagne like would never speak to a woman on his show that way. Granted, he doesn't interview just like random ass women who have nothing going for him. But I feel like he has too much of a career. He knows that his career would probably fucking torpedo if he said that kind of shit. The point, though, I think, is just to be real, just be honest.
Charlemagne doesn't need to do that.
But don't you think we're in a society that really disincentivizes being honest?
Is honesty calling someone a linebacker?
I mean, if she's the size of a linebacker, then I mean, she's a linebacker, right? I mean,
I feel bad, bro. Like
nobody would ever get on a woman's ass for saying the same thing to a fat man. Basically, is what I would say about that.
The way that he shits on people, I don't know, bro. And I feel like fat guys get fucked, bro. Like I fuck chunky dudes. Like,
I know that the world is set up unfairly for sure.
It is, because I started to look past it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'd be like, all right, he's funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, your car.
We all know. I mean, we just interviewed these dudes. I don't know if you know about them yet. The Fresh and Fit podcast.
Earn Your Leisure literally called me and were like, you have to go on this podcast. Are they out of Miami?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
If you hate Kevin Samuels, you'll really hate these guys.
Oh, that's probably why they want me on there. Why? What do they do?
Okay, so what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know what you're thinking. What do you guys think about the way that Adam is with her and how, you know, he's interviewing her and his energy versus how he is with Blue Jasmine? And we're going to go back to the Blue Jasmine interview because I've kind of shown you guys how he felt about Kevin Samuels from this interview with her, because this is after his interview with Kevin Samuels and let me go here. So is the climate that we're in today, the question is the climate that we're in today one that focuses on pay to play or sexual situations more so over relationship? And you know what? I think it's really interesting because Adam goes into detail with this Blue Jasmine girl. And the one that you guys are about to see. He goes into detail in his conversation with her about how he views relationships essentially. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So I'm going to continue to play it. So look at his energy with Blue Jasmine and you can tell he's got something against her. God, just listen to the interview. Just listen to what he says. God, this guy is funny.
Becomes so controversial.
Yeah, so basically, my ex still pays my bills. He's been paying it. We've been broken up. Maybe it's going on 2 years now. And he's been continuing to pay it. The initial question was if somebody gave you a gift during the relationship and the relationship broke up, would you take it back or allow them to take it back? And so I said, you know, I was given gifts. Like I got my apartment as a gift. I got my car as a gift. I got many other things as a gift. But my apartment and my car are the things that had longer term payments, you know, like your apartment until the lease ends and the car until the lease ends. And yeah, they're still being paid for.
So I guess my main question about this guy is what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, do you think he has like really bad like issues with his mom or something?
Not at all. Actually, he grew up in a 2-family home, went to private school, has a lot of money.
But why would he keep paying for his ex's shit 2 years after they're broken up?
I don't know.
You have to admit that you think it's crazy, right?
I got that OJ glove. You know what I'm talking about?
But you said he's not even fucking still.
It doesn't matter, but it's good.
It matters.
It was good. It was really that good.
There is no memory of pussy on earth that is going to make me continue to pay for it after I'm done with it.
That's you.
But why do you think that? And I kind of agreed when I was listening to the Kevin Samuels thing, and I'm hearing you talk about like three months is standard, 6 months is very nice. I could understand that if I were the kind of guy that was like gonna put a girl in an apartment or whatever, that like, yeah, maybe you don't break the lease immediately. Like, yeah, all right, I get that. But 2 years, like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, does he have so much money that paying for that is just nothing to him? Because then I guess maybe it makes a tiny morsel of sense.
I don't know what so much money would be considered, but I guess to him, he's not in a struggle.
Does he make $5 million a year?
$5 million? No, I don't think he makes $5 million a year.
Then he shouldn't be doing this. It's
yeah, but I mean, listen, I have guys that literally offer me cars that I've never had sex with before. I am no relationship.
Who are they? What is wrong with them?
What is wrong with them? What is right with me?
But what are they supposed to be getting out of that investment?
They're getting the enjoyment. You know, some people do drugs.
You said they didn't have sex with you.
Yeah, some people, but just probably giving something to a beautiful woman and feeling like they've helped her get to a space probably makes them feel good about themselves. Makes them feel good.
I don't get that. Why would that make you feel good about yourself, to just throw money in the fucking trash can?
Some people go to the casino. Some people do drugs. Some people drink. Some people waste their money on women. You know, like it's different things.
Right. I mean, you go to the casino, but I mean, when you place a bet on black, I mean, there's like a 49.5 chance that you're going to double your money. If you buy a girl a car that's never going to fuck you, then what the fuck is the point? It's a 0% chance of you getting anything out of it. And if you get something out of it, you get what? A fucking pleasurable, enjoyable, like 5-minute nut. Like, I mean, to me, I've never understood the concept of paying for pussy. And I paid for, I have to clarify, I remember back in the day, in Asia and stuff, we'd be on trips, we'd go get our dicks sucked and shit like that. But that don't count. That's another country.
But this is not even pay for play. This is just pay because I'm a woman, I'm beautiful, I have goals, I have ambitions, you know what I mean? I do, you know what I mean? So men are just turned on by that and they want to help me.
It's like you opened a lemonade stand where you're charging money, but then not actually giving them the lemonade.
Right. And they're buying it.
It's called
and they
theft,
love it.
Where I'm from.
No, because I'm transparent. I mean, I'm not promising anything,
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the mind of a dude who wants to do this.
I've literally had this luck my whole life. Like I said, I remember from 13 years old, a guy asked me for my phone number, obviously an older person. And then he came to me. I already had a phone and he came to me, but I was like, I don't have a number because I don't have a phone, but I lied. And then like literally 2 days later, I seen him again. He had a phone for me and he said, I paid for it for 6 months. And this is me at 13. So a phone is like a car at 13. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, I got a phone, free phone. Once again, when I was 18, a guy I was just friends with, we hung out all the time. I told him I needed a car. He bought me a Range Rover. Like a few weeks later, I gave him the buns, you know what I mean? But I don't think there was an initial expectation of it.
Were these guys aware that they were committing statutory rape?
Statutory rape?
When you fuck an underage girl who can't consent legally?
No, the guy who got me the phone, I never fucked him. I mean, He barely even called me. He never even bothered me after that. It was weird. Like we probably talked on the phone like 2 times and then like he never like harassed. Yeah, I don't even remember him bothering me.
Okay.
The guy that got me the car ended up getting into a relationship with him. And he spoiled me for some time. But then there's guys that, rappers and athletes offer money. I've gotten literally credit cards handed to me from athletes who make, who have $90 million contracts, handed to me and haven't even fucked. But that was all. Bible.
But why would they? I just don't get it. Like, what is the thing that they're getting out of that they
maybe
enjoy
I turn
so
men
much?
on financially.
What?
Maybe I turn men on financially.
How do you get turned on financially?
Like a man wants to spend his money on me. Like he wants to make me feel good, and that makes him feel good when he spoils me or makes me feel good. Like he, babies
I would feel
me.
so horrible about myself if I was spending money on a girl that I wasn't in any sort of like, I buy my girl nice things, I take her out shopping, I take her to the mall, etc. But I mean, we've been together for 5 years. We have a kid together. We're engaged. there's a very obvious reason why I want to like buy her things that are representations. Now, that being said, me and my girl are not like materialistic people at all. Like, we just don't do the jewelry thing really. I mean, she does a little bit, but like, we're not super into the designer stuff. We don't have fancy cars. You know, I'm just very much like not that kind of person. So it's just like really flabbergasting to me why a guy would want to put himself into that position.
I don't know. It just literally happened to me last week again. I was coming back from Miami from the Fresh and Fit podcast. I was
fuck either of those guys?
Huh?
You fuck those guys?
Ew, like what? No.
Why ew?
Because I honestly, yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Forget it.
What?
But no, if you
gave Myron
would
a
you
hands
cut
up?
it out? Ew.
No.
Like what?
What?
Like no, I'm not.
Okay.
Like yeah, I feel like unless it's financial, men don't. It's hard for me to get turned on by a man. Like to me, it's like yeah, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, like unless I think like even watching a man spend his money, like recently I was at the strip club and watching a man spend his money even on other women turns me on. You know what I mean? It's just like it makes me feel like wow, like you're a boss.
I think you need therapy.
Fuck you.
I mean, I'm just serious. Like you have to.
Why do I need therapy for getting what I want just for living?
Okay. If you're a woman who could get turned on by a guy for other reasons, and then you also get turned on by a guy spending money on you, I guess I could understand. But when you say you only get turned on by a guy who's throwing money at you, I mean
that's like the first thing, and then you know, then I'm curious now. Who like, oh, okay, you're hot, big dick energy. You know what I mean?
What kind of financial circumstances did you grow up under? Like, were you poor growing up?
Hell yeah. My mother was 18. My father was 21. My dad had a couple crack houses, so he had money and cars and stuff, but it was like hood shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I ain't have no bread. I had to get it out the mud.
I guess that does probably partially explain it.
Maybe.
I mean, just like your male role model having crack houses. I guess that's probably got to explain some of this.
But my dad did financially take care of me my whole life until I was 21, until I finished college.
Right. But he was also basically committing genocide, destroying his own community to make money.
No, that was just why he was young. After like he went
and no hate on people selling crack or anything, because I understand a lot. It would be unfair for me to hold your dad to that standard when a lot of the people I interview have obviously probably killed tons of people with the drugs that they were selling. And I guess that's just, you know, it's an acceptable part of the culture. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's got to be more to this.
I don't know. What were we saying prior?
The thing that really kind of the best part in the Kevin Samuels thing that I saw was how you tried to like basically explain how it was illegal for them to kick you out of the apartment, and he I think kind of cornered you and made you realize that actually they legally.
No, it is illegal though, especially during Corona. Because they were trying to, I mean, these circumstances weren't the ones I was under, because the person is paying my bills happily. But he tried to say if this was a circumstance, and I'm not just going to give in. I'm not going to be like, okay, here you go. Like, no, like you're going to have to wait until I get my shit together.
Okay, but say it was me and we were dating and I was paying for an apartment that you were living in and paying for the car and we broke up. I would say, I'm taking it all back. And then what are you going to do? Like,
I'm going to say, get it back in blood, bitch.
Yeah. And I mean, I probably like, if I got to send some people to, you know, kick you out of the apartment or whatever, I guess I got to do that. I hope they don't have to hurt you or whatever, but and I would like to not be there, since me being part of it doesn't seem like a good idea. But like, what are you going to do?
Honestly, them things have never happened to me, but I would just imagine that I would not, I wouldn't leave easily. And I don't have a shame in saying that. Like, I'm not, no, it's just not happening. You're not going to kick me out of space that you placed me in. Like, you're going to have to wait until I'm comfortable enough or until I'm ready to do what I need to do.
It's just so interesting you say you're not going to, when legally it's their right to, and it's the right thing, in my opinion, for them to be able to. And there's nothing that you could do to stop them. And if the cops were called or if it was taken to court, they would rule that you were wrong. Like, what basis does this cockiness have?
I don't really know the laws, you know, so I can't really fight that.
Right.
But I know that I'm going to stick it out until I can't. Yeah, you're going to have to drag me out of there. Yeah.
Right. So, okay, I might already said this, but what does this guy think of all this newfound attention to his romantic situation or his financial situation, I guess? Like, what does he think of the fact that this has gotten so much attention and that it's basically about him, even though he remains anonymous?
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He probably thinks it's cool. He hasn't really said anything in regards to it that's negative. He's definitely said, you know, he's a money person. So he's definitely said capitalize. He's definitely said try to make it into something for yourself. You know what I mean? But he hasn't said anything. He doesn't feel any way. He doesn't care.
That's crazy. Because I would think it would be like really embarrassing to like, even though he hasn't been named.
But there, you'll be surprised that I've received cash apps from men after this. Like men are in my DM sending me money who I don't even know,
right?
Who probably will never meet me, who don't know where I live, don't know anything about me, but what they see on the internet, and they're sending me money.
I mean, I guess it shouldn't be so hard for me to understand because the truth is that there's tons of girls out there who are like charging money for their OnlyFans, and then their OnlyFans has like pictures of them in a bikini. Whatever, like not that anything that crazy. And then meanwhile, you could log right on to Pornhub and search that girl's name and see her getting fucked in the ass, whatever. And dude's still like, I mean, if you're paying for the OnlyFans, you kind of are just paying her for no reason, realistically, because there's crazier shit on Pornhub. Not for every girl, obviously. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're not on there, but
no.
I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me so much that guys just want to give money to girls for nothing, but I can't escape it. It's just baffling to me.
I don't think it's for nothing. I think it's for just them existing. And I feel like, don't a lot of what's Patreon? Don't people like men or whoever watch you give money to people just to listen to you?
Patreon.com/NoJumper. Yes, but I mean, there's a lot of content on the Patreon that's like exclusive that they don't have access to. Right, we can do naked girl stuff on there. We can do, all kinds of drug types.
And
Not that we have yet, but we're going to.
And so they find value, even, you know what I mean? But a person like me would be like, why would I pay for this? You know what I mean? Like you said, when I can go on Pornhub or I can listen to this on YouTube for free or whatever. So that's the part that I don't get. Because even on Fresh and Fit podcast, I didn't want to like put them on blast, but I was like, aren't you men paying to watch men? Like, I don't get it. Like, why wouldn't you pay a woman like if you liked her or if you had interest in her? Like, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, the difference is that like if somebody, and apparently there are many people who are open to this, but if there's people who watch my podcast and they want to see more of the podcast or they want to see some extra content or, some people do it out of the goodness of their heart because the reality is that you could be a huge fan of No Jumper and it costs $0 like for you to be a fan. You watch everything on YouTube for free. Some people see that, they realize at a certain point, like, oh, they have all these expenses. They have all these employees. Maybe I want to give them $5 a month because that will help make their whole operation easier.
Same here. So some people see a beautiful woman and they're like, maybe I want to buy her a car because that's going to help her get from point A to point B. Maybe I want to put her in a house because she's going to be sheltered and it's going to be because of me.
Right.
That this is happening. The same exact thing.
But I think there's a big difference between like a podcast that you get a ton of enjoyment out of and that occupies like many, many hours out of your week versus like just a random woman just having a car or just living in a house. Like it just seems like much, much less common sense to want to support.
Really? I think it depends on who you are and what you like to support. So some people may like to support a podcast and some people like to support women.
Some random woman having a nice car.
Yeah. And that makes men feel good. Listen, the other day, with the taxi situation, I was about to say that story. Came off the flight to Miami. My phone was dead. So I had no choice but to talk to this person. I was annoyed at first. He's talking to me, telling me about the cars that he has. And I'm like, can you buy me a car? And at first he's laughing like, ha, whatever. And I'm like, I'm really serious. I really need a car. Like my car is messed up, bullshitting, whatever. And, so I exchanged. So then we were talking, we continued to talk, but he wasn't really jacking it like during our initial like car ride. Gave him my phone number. He's literally been calling me the last 5-6 days trying to get me to meet him at the dealership. But I've been so busy running around with everything that I haven't had the chance to. Every single day. Are you going to meet me today at the dealership? Are you going to meet me today at the dealership? Are you going to meet me today at the dealership? That he wants to get me a car. Don't know this person. Literally had a 1-hour taxi ride that I didn't have to pay for.
If you're driving a taxi, you're not making enough money to buy a random woman a car.
I mean, I don't know. Some people, you don't know.
I mean, you kind of do though. Like driving a cab is not the best job. I've watched YouTube videos about people who drive Uber and shit. They make like, $500 a week, whatever. I mean, it's cool,
according to him, he has an X, whatever the fuck BMW. He has a Porsche. He, you know what I mean? He put his daughter through school cash. You know what I mean? So whatever money he has saved up, maybe, I don't know what's his financial situation, but I know he wants to get me a car. And when I go home, I know I'm going to go get my car.
Does it stand out to you that there's maybe like a possibility that he might like eventually stalk you or like do some creepy shit or rape you or something like that. Because that to me, that's like the first thing that comes to mind. Anytime somebody tries to offer me something for free, is just
alarm. You think they want to rape you?
Yes. No, alarm bells go off in my head. Like, okay, I have guys come up to me and they say, "Oh, I own this place and we'll let you have fucking whatever rental car you want. Just like shout us out on Instagram or whatever." I don't do it because I don't want to be in a situation where someone's giving me something, because then they're going to feel like they can ask me for something or they can like exert pressure on me. And I know that being in the position that I'm in, I don't want to have to do anything for anybody. So I just say no. If I'm going to do it, people offer to work for me for free all the time. I don't want to fucking have somebody working for me for free. I want to pay you a fair amount, and then I can actually lean on you to do the work that I need you to do. If you're working me for free, I can't yell at you and say, "Hey, you need to do this. Why the fuck didn't you get this done?" Yada yada. I need to be able to rely on people, and that just doesn't really make sense to me.
Well, for me, I just feel like if you stand strong in your stance, I don't give a fuck what anybody feels or thinks or wants to do. You know what I mean? I mean, no one forced you to do these things for me. So it's like, once you give it to me, it's mine.
I do agree that these men, if they want to spend money on these relationships or whatever, then that's cool. That's like their prerogative, etc. I do think we need to address like the simp culture where so many guys think that this is like a good use of their time or money. I think it just says like really horrible things about men in general, that so many men are this stupid. But I think the fact that you think that you have the power to say no to them when they want to take those things away, that's the thing that basically like ignited
but I do. I just feel like if you're going to give me something, you cannot take it away. It's not snatchies. Like, it's not like Indian giving. Like, no, you're not taking it back. Like, I don't get how that doesn't make any sense. Like, if somebody buys you a gift or if someone gives you something, like,
okay, in some things you're right, because like if we're dating and I buy you a watch and then we break up 6 months later and you say you gave this to me as a gift, I'm pretty sure that like legally, okay, it's your watch. I gave it to you as a gift. And I mean, certainly if me and my girl, if my girl left me, I don't have the right to say like, oh, I mean, maybe the wedding ring is one thing because we haven't got married yet, but you know, I don't get to say, "Oh, hey, give me all those Gucci purses back" or whatever. Because
I feel like that's more simp behavior. So my thing is, I want to change the culture around the word simp. And I feel like men who do not take care of women, or if they have money and they're not in their community doing what's best for the people around them, the women, which is, I feel like, yeah, that's a simp to me. Like, if you don't think that it's okay to help women out or to cater to women, then to me, that's a simp. Like, you're not a man. Like, men are here to do that, to work and to help women. Either they're women, or if they're single, other women, or I just feel like that's your duty as a man.
To just help random women that you're maybe not even sleeping with.
It doesn't have to be a random woman from the street, but women that you have interest in, women that you know what I mean? You have something in mind for them, even if you have sex in mind but you don't get sex, I feel like you should still, put forth.
I mean, I feel like the thing that you're describing is a relationship, but you like don't want to actually be in a relationship. You just want to like get the benefit of being in the relationship from.
Restream has completely changed my game as a content creator, live streamer, and podcaster, because by using Restream,
sort of like coercing the man into believing that he's gonna, in the long run, get something more out of this.
Like, no, I've never lied.
Could you imagine being in a relationship that was, primarily based on like your feelings for the person?
Yes.
It doesn't really sound like it.
Why?
Because it just sounds like there always has to be like a financial component in order for you to.
I think that a man should take care of a woman. I feel like once I choose the man that I want to be with, I am now his responsibility. I do feel like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do agree with that to a certain extent, in the sense that like if I'm in a relationship with a woman and she's going to be, taking care of the kid and she's going to be home all day and she's just basically going to be doing that. Like, I mean, my situation is very different because my girl makes a fuckload of money, but I understand that prerogative that like maybe I could imagine being in a relationship where if the girl's not bringing anything to the table, but she's taking care of the kids, she's she takes care of the house, she cooks, she cleans, etc. And I'm sort of like paying her way through life as a result of that. And we're in a relationship. That's not how my relationship is, but I could totally understand that is pretty much how relationships have worked like all throughout history. The man goes off and wins, makes money. The woman stays home, takes care of the kids. That's fine. That seems like a very, very common setup. But like you want that, but then you don't want to be at home taking care of the kids. You want to be running around fucking other guys for money.
Fucking for money? I don't fuck for money, but
whatever.
Nor am I against women who fuck for money. But I do think that men, I think that if you have money and your interest is women, whether it be fucking or you like them for eye candy, I don't know, whatever your interest is around women, that you should cater to them, like take care of them. I only want men around me who really fuck with women. You know what I mean? I only want men around me who are really interested in women, that really want to take care of women.
Just women in general. Like some people donate to charity. You think that like a guy's charity should just be just women, just all women?
I guess. I don't know about a charity, but
right.
I just feel like,
I feel like the women's rights movement that we've like watched play out all throughout our life, where, you know, women have basically been like fighting against so much of what you're kind of talking about, where like, you know, women want to have their own careers. They want to, you know, be considered equal to men. They want to not feel like they have to stay home.
I never stood in none of the marches.
Right.
I never stood in none of the marches. I'm not for that. I think that I'm still a feminist because I believe women should do whatever they want to do.
That was going to be my question. Do you consider yourself a feminist?
Only
this kind of seems like anti-feminist.
Yeah, not fully, because I still think that, you know, personally, my beliefs are women are, you know, a man is a little bit higher than a woman. Let's face it, you know, be real. Like men.
Why?
Because you guys are stronger, could work longer, make more money quicker, don't have to sacrifice as much to get to the spaces you want to. And so I feel like men have more power when it comes to, in the money aspect, in the workplace. I feel that, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what feminists are really against, is that men have so much more.
Them. So they should take care of us too. The fuck? They should get next to the men and they should take care of the women in their community who believe otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I don't know. I just can't really, I can't imagine. Like, I wish that I knew dudes who are like this, because I know so many guys and I've never heard a guy say, yeah, I bought her a fucking apartment. I love taking care of this girl. I've heard dudes say, yeah, I've spent money on this girl because I was trying to fuck her or whatever. I mean, sure, that makes sense to me, but I don't know. I guess maybe I do know these guys, but maybe they can tell that I'm not on board with their program, so they just would never confide in me. Like, to me, even like buying a girl drinks or whatever, that's crazy.
You've had athletes and rappers and stuff on here. All of those men, a lot of them take care of women or offer women a lot of money. Like, I've been offered money to, you know, have sex, and I've declined because I'm not just for money. That's not just like my motive. It's not just for money. I'm not going to give pussy up for money. But I've been offered by rappers $5,000, $3,000, $7,000
to have sex.
Yes, 100%.
And you've never done it?
Never.
Why is that the line? Because I mean, you like having sex, presumably, right?
Of course, with someone that I'm interested in and someone who like takes care of me continuously on a continuous basis. I'm not just gonna have like sex with someone I really don't even know, because, you know, half the time these people, they don't even know you and they just want to put it on the table. I've had someone who literally didn't even want to have a conversation with me, had someone else tell me about the $5,000 and then say like, but they just want to go in the room and do it and then get out. Like, they don't want to even talk to me. You know what I mean? Wow. So it's like, why is it okay for men to do those type of things? But then when a woman comes and wants to like take over the game, it's like so different.
I think it's just kind of sad. Like, when I think about this dude who's like, you know, trying to spend $5,000 to have sex, like,
you'd be surprised who he is too, because they make a lot of memes about him. They make him seem like, you know, he's
Chet Hanks.
Who's that?
Okay.
No, they make him seem as though like, people have been telling me like he needs to talk to me. Like, they make him seem like, damn, I wish like you guys could cut things out so I could say like the name. Okay. But yeah.
I mean, we could cut it out also. If you want to tell me, we'll cut it out. Scout's honor. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's someone that people think like, and he's literally offered me 2 times through another person, through a mutual friend that we have, $5,000.
So he wants you to just be in a hotel room. He pulls up. Maybe like,
well, I was in there. They have like a studio house in Miami.
Okay.
So he had just wanted me to like meet him in the room. They didn't even want to have a conversation. Right. They didn't even ask me my name, anything.
Beat it down and just dip.
Yeah, and that was it.
No conversation necessary.
No, none at all.
I guess the thing that I don't really get is like,
and this is a guy who could get pussy for free.
He could, for sure. But, and I understand that maybe, he has so much money that he's just really looking for like efficiency of time. Like he just doesn't want to have to talk to girls, get their number, speak to them. We see this play out where like his, conversations leak on social media of him trying to line up sexual experiences and stuff like that. I guess I just don't understand the dude mentality of wanting to fuck every fucking girl on earth. Like at a certain point, it's like the law of diminishing returns, like I understand like the first 10 girls that I had sex with, each one was extremely exciting. Now that I'm at the point where I've had sex with hundreds of girls, like if I fuck a new girl tomorrow with my girl or whatever, then it's just not that big a deal to me. Like I just don't care.
Okay, so what are you guys thinking? It is a lot. It is a lot, you guys. It's a lot. Do you guys think that Adam was trying his best to insult her? I feel like she definitely held her ground. I feel like she definitely held an argument. But I also have some thoughts about how Kevin Samuels is probably one of the main people to blame. Oh man, you guys. Even though he's not the person who shaped him, But how are you guys feeling about this? Like, what's your question? What's your answer to the question? If you give a person something when you break up, are you going to take it back? Like, how do you guys feel about where she sits on that particular issue and that particular issue alone? Because I feel like she definitely has a valid argument. However, I feel like society, even though society secretly is very much okaying sexual promiscuity and prostitution. I love the way she was like, wait, Adam, I don't promote prostitution. I'm not selling my pussy. Like, I'm not. Are you trying to snitch on me? Like, what you trying to do? Get me caught up? What, you the feds police? But no, seriously, I feel like this is where she's going with the conversation. And I feel like he's trying to continuously reel her back in, and he continues to try to find reasons as to how it is that she's wrong for being the way that, she is or whatever, but he just can't reel her in. You say Adam 22 is the wrong person to interview her. Dude was all wrong. Why do you think so? Because did you see her interview with Kevin Samuels? She ran circles around him. Jermaine says, honestly, I do though. I do. Y'all, come on. Let's hold these folks accountable. Is it us as a community, as a society of people? Is it Kevin Samuels who needs to step to the plate and say, hey, I'll be the baby. I'll be that pappy's daddy. Who needs to be held accountable for this? And I know some of you, I was checking out the chat or whatever. Shout out to the chat. You guys are freaking awesome. I am shocked to learn that a cab driver is the bank out here in these streets. Like, while Uber is still very prevalent, because this is a recent encounter. Now I know that cabs charge a lot of money for fare, and they like really ain't going nowhere. You paying for a whole tank of gas to go right down the damn street. But I get that, but I really And I mean, she's still saying, she's sticking to her guns. She's like, listen, phone died. Dude said he was gonna buy me a car, and bam, as soon as I go home, I'm getting my car. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the interesting thing is Kevin Samuels brought the what if scenario into the situation. I remember when I did this, you guys. I don't think he's being. Did you see it from the beginning? How long have you been here, Liz? How long have you been here? Maybe you didn't see his initial attempts, because he was trying. He tried it quite a few times. And I mean, he was just abrasive. He was just like, so I guess my question is, what the hell is wrong with this dude that's continuing to pay your bills? Like, where is he? What kind of guy is he? Like, what did he have to say about that? Blah, blah, blah. Like you said, but she got a whole new boyfriend living in the place another man paying for. No, that's a simp. I mean, you guys might say that, but I gotta go to what she's saying. She's saying, look, this is currently my situation. When she's talking about what the guy that's paying for her expenses right now, what he has to say about all of this, he's like, obviously, like, well, this is an opportunity for you to capitalize. Go get your money. Say less. Now, I have a couple of things. I'm not sure if she actually has a boyfriend. She can have a boyfriend and now is on live TV talking about this. Yeah, you weren't here long enough. Like in the beginning, he was just like, oh, so basically what you're saying is you're a prostitute. Basically, you're a prostitute though. But you're a prostitute. Yeah, but they paying for sex. And then they're not even getting anything. So I feel like it's just an empty investment. I love the fact that this guy, his face, all of it. I gotta, he tried it. But I think my question is, do you guys think that she's the same level of a sociopath as Kevin Samuels? Let's go back to that comment really quickly that was put up by Mr. Brooks. Says, I work with Lyft and Uber. I clear $1,500 to $2,000 a week. So broke. I don't know what they're talking about. Dude said Uber drivers, Lyft drivers only make $500 a week. So yeah, that ain't no real money. That's like, man. He is going in. Let's go to some of these comments. Oh, I'm not done with the clip, honey. I'm not done with the clip. Welcome to the chat again, Mike B. Welcome to the chat. I think that and then I love the way that she came to this point, and she's like, okay, so some men value. What did she say? What was this thing? Oh, some men value podcasts, some men value women. So they invest in women. They spend their money on women. Oh, love it. Wait, let's go. Tell me how y'all are feeling. Okay. Okay. Are modern day women too entitled because modern day men devalue exclusivity? Before I hit that play button again and we continue to talk and react to this video, I want to say this, okay? Adam 22, she murdered you. Right. I mean, I have some patients of mine, some clients in therapy that are sex workers, and they make good money, really good money. I was shocked, right? I was shocked to see one of the bank accounts. I'm like, whoa, wait, in the wrong profession. Like life goes, okay? But let me tell you, she ran circles around him. She did. Let me just go back to where that is. Let's hit 28. Right here.
He probably thinks it's cool. He hasn't really said anything in regards to it that's negative.
She's talking about
he's definitely said, he's a money person. So he's definitely said capitalize. He's definitely said try to make it into something for yourself. You know what I mean? But he hasn't said anything.
Who's currently paying her
he doesn't
bills
feel any way. He doesn't care.
That's crazy. Because I would think it would be like really embarrassing to, like, even though he hasn't been named.
But you'll be surprised that I've received cash apps from men after this. Like men are in my DM sending me money who I don't even know,
Right.
who probably will never meet me, who don't know where I live, don't know anything about me but what they see on the internet, and they're sending me money.
I mean, I guess it shouldn't be so hard for me to understand, because the truth is that there's tons of girls out there who are like charging money for their OnlyFans, and then their OnlyFans has like pictures of them in a bikini, whatever, like not that anything that crazy. And then meanwhile, you could log right on to Pornhub and search that girl's name and see her getting fucked in the ass, whatever. And dude's still like, I mean, if you're paying for the OnlyFans, you kind of are just paying her for no reason, realistically, because there's crazier shit on Pornhub. Not for every girl, obviously. Like, I mean, I'm sure you're not on there, but
no.
I mean, I guess it shouldn't surprise me so much that guys just want to give money to girls for nothing, but I can't escape it. It's just baffling to me.
I don't think it's for nothing. I think it's for just them existing. And I feel like, don't a lot of what's Patreon? Don't people like men or whoever watch you give money to people just to listen to you?
Patreon.com/NoJumper. Yes, but I mean, there's a lot of content on the Patreon that's like exclusive that they don't have access to.
Right,
we can do naked girl stuff on there. We can do, all kinds of drug types.
And
Not that we have yet, but we're going to.
And so they find value, even, you know what I mean? But a person like me would be like, why would I pay for this? You know what I mean? Like you said, when I can go on Pornhub or I can listen to this on YouTube for free or whatever. So that's the part that I don't get, because even on Fresh and Fit podcast, I didn't want to like put them on blast, but I was like, aren't you men paying to watch men? Like, I don't get it. Like, why wouldn't you pay a woman, like if you liked her or if you had interest?
You see what I'm saying? Like when I say that he tried it, but he just couldn't overcome, like she literally ran circles around him, literally ran circles. She's a whole Shakira Richardson out here in these streets. Stop playing. Adam, no. Just don't and say you did. So let's talk about accountability conversations. Let's get into the discussion. What do we watch? Like, what do we learned, right? We've sat through, we watched Adam in conversation with her. We watched Adam in conversation with the girl with the sex podcast, where he's talking about the fact that he can barely stomach Kevin Samuels. And yet he has the similar view that Kevin Samuels has on her getting money from, oh God, wait. I'm gonna go right to his view. Wait. We're gonna do that for sure. Because listening to what he feels, what she's doing is, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, the lady of the hour.
An hour only?
Or the week, at least, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Taking the internet over, huh?
I'm trying.
Yeah. How's your life changed since you gained all this notoriety? And also, I mean, I guess I should kind of map it out for them. You went on some podcast that I'm probably never going to watch again in my life. And you talked about basically some relationship stuff, talked about, how a guy was affording you a whole lot of stuff, and then you broke up and you didn't want to give it up. And then that led to you going on Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. And you've just basically been involved in this whole media whirlwind, which I find kind of interesting because, back in the day, people used to go viral for something and then that would just be it. You'd never hear from them again. You had this like viral moment, and then all of a sudden you just use that as kind of like leverage to get on all these different platforms and build up your personal brand.
Right.
It's kind of fascinating. This is the very, very 2021 come up story.
Right. I mean, I've gone viral before for doing skits and stuff like that, but it was all like shaking ass. You know what I mean? It had no real substance, or not that what I went viral for had substance, but it was my truth, versus what shaking ass. So I lost my page at 150K.
After all this or before?
Prior.
Okay.
Maybe like 4 months ago.
Right.
And now, so I was building up my new page. This was currently at 9K. And then now I'm at 28, almost 30 within the last week.
Okay.
So that's been pretty cool.
Are you getting reached out to by a lot of people? Like, what kind of connections is this helping to foster?
Yeah. Like, I still have the big steppers in my DM. You know what I mean?
Who?
The the guys here and there. I'm not really like a snitch like that.
That's smart.
But they know who they are. And so, yeah, they still checking for me. So that hasn't changed. I obviously have opportunities like being here and all the other podcasts that are hitting me up. And we're working on a couple of things. I have a party that I'm looking to start. A lot of guys and girls have hit me up looking for either like sugar babies or sugar daddies.
Right.
So I have a website, sugarsocial.com. Our first party is set to be in August in New York City.
And how long have you been working on this?
So funny thing.
Nay, don't let me catch you guys over there on sugarsocial.com now. While y'all all judgy about her in life.
Themselves.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what the show's for.
To snitch.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's this blue seal of approval on your throat there?
It's a chakra, aka throat baby. You know what I mean? Take it to another dimension.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is that really feelings for another girl?
Okay.
That would be the thing that would actually piss her off, though. If she thought that I was fucking a girl that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if I'm a prostitute, it's kind of like, I think she would be mad at me because I'm putting her in debt.
So this is a question where she asked him basically, does he think that his girlfriend would get upset if he was having sex with a prostitute versus a girl that he knew and had feelings for? And he was like, well, I think I'm going to ask her about that. He told her that she was a thief. He told her that she was stealing these men's money.
And for the record, I mean, yeah, I could easily just pay the fucking mortgage myself.
Exactly, Sarah.
So what do you guys think? Let's go back to the comments because I didn't see them when I was in the video. People have all types of interests. Some men put 40,000 on the roulette table. Other men put 40K on spend spree for the company of pretty women. I think that that's definitely her point, and I think that it is a pretty valid point. And here's the thing: I'm going to be very transparent with you guys, and I'm always honest. Mike says being too entitled is a turnoff for me, right? And let me tell you something. She makes it very clear that broke men or men that don't spend money on women is a turnoff for her. You said I will never date an IG model. Now, if I were to go back and review my history of the men that I've actually dated, whether it was a 1 date, 2 dates, 3 and done, or gotten more serious and engaged to, I've never been in the company of a man who did not spend money on me and did not value my time and my attention to him. And well, with the exception, there was one guy from Miami that flew in. I just couldn't take anything. I just needed his energy to just go away. But it is what it is. But the thing is, I think that even though she calls it pretty privilege, I don't think that that's what it is. I think it's about properly vetting the people that you allow to have a seat at your table. So some people are very, very good at that. And it seems like she is a girl who her father taught her a lot of things about what a man was supposed to be. And even though he tried it, like, obviously her dad did a good job. Who knows? Or the streets did. Who knows? Or she's just a whole savage out here. You said there's a difference between paying for a date and paying rent. So that's what I'm saying. I've had that too. I've had men buy me houses, so cars as gifts. So it does happen. Now, while certain women won't accept certain gifts, some women will. And is she wrong for accepting the gift? Like, I mean, like, really though? Like, is she really wrong? Men need to be held accountable for the way that they see women as a commodity. I think that that's what it is. And if if women have lost their value, their sense of self, and just honor, basic honor, and they kind of just decided, you know what, if you're out here and you're playing in these streets, throwing your money out here, out this truck, and you continue to ride down the street, I'm just gonna pick the damn money up. What you mean? Like, you don't want the money? Apparently you don't want the money. Let me just, I got you. Let's look at more comments.
That's what I want.
You guys have to excuse me, my allergies are just like terrible. But I think that even when she was on Kevin Samuel's show, they went head to head. And she definitely got the best of him. I believe my review of her on Kevin Samuel's show was like, how could you let a woman come on your show and do you like that? Like, she devoured him. Much like she's devouring Adam. Said one man's rent is another man's spent on dinner last night. It's all subjective. I agree. And not just rent, mortgages. Like, this guy is paying over $6,000 a month on this girl, just in basic expenses, and they're not together anymore. That is crazy to me. Saying, I'm done. I'm moving. These women not worth it to me. I'm telling you. But my thing is do you think that these modern day women are a result of men feeling like women aren't worth it? And they're like, okay, well, you know what? If you really feel like I bring nothing to the table, let's see what my nothing is really worth. I can't say I co-sign the finesse game, the financial finessing. I feel like it's sad on both parts. I feel bad for the guys. I feel bad for the women, because I feel like there is no integrity, you know? And essentially, like, she just basically got down first. She sold this person business off camera. You still told it to another person, so he's not even paying for discretion. Because he cut that part out. I just want y'all to realize that. So, but I think the larger lesson is for men to stop trying to pay for pussy. Like, it's not worth it. It isn't. Literally. It's not worth it, because especially if you're in a relationship. If you're in a relationship, why are you out here spending your money on some other woman so you can look at her naked, or I don't know, feel good about providing for her? Go provide for your house. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a person who is a strong believer that if you give a person something, whatever that something is, you should not take it back. You shouldn't even attempt, because it's not yours anymore. It's theirs. However, if that person is freely giving it back to you and not accepting it, I think that it makes it okay for you to accept that return of whatever that said gift is. Okay. Because like I said, I've been in situations like that. Like, I've had men that bought me entire houses, moved in, and I was like, you know what? We're not it. This ain't it. So hope it works out for you. But the house is paid for. Yeah, so it's your house. Have it. If the deed's in your name, I'll sign it back over then. For me, I need my peace. I need internal peace. So I think that if you have a woman who subscribes to a different set of morality and values and things like that, then, you know, she's going to be moved by different things. And she's seizing the opportunity. I'm an entire doctor. So we're in different, obviously we're in different situations. But I feel like even if I were in her situation, I don't know if I would be doing this to a person and feel okay with it. I don't know what their arrangement is though. Apparently he's okay with it. They're having conversations about it. You know, it is what it is. Or maybe he's holding out hope. Like my producer, we were having this conversation while listening to the content, right? And we were like, well, I'm like, what's the reason that guys would be doing this stuff? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, it made me reflect on how many men in my past are constantly still trying to provide gifts, send gifts, and things like that. I mean, out of the blue. They don't care, whole married woman, all that. And, you know, I was like, dang, but 20, 30 years, they still be trying to send things. Like, what are they holding out for? And his thing was, well, you know, it's the fact that they're holding out because one day they might get it because they haven't had sex with you. And guess what? If you're still holding out 20 or 30 years later, God help you. Just bless your heart, okay? You said plus prostitutes don't what? Cost that much. Obviously, she's a very high-priced prostitute. Says, how can she respect her boyfriend who's lifting off another? I didn't even get there. I'm glad you got there. Look at Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks, I'm gonna bring you. Boy, let me drop this link. Please, what? Oh, wait a minute. This man out here smart in these streets. You look, you late nighters are inteligente. Muy inteligente. So come on here. Let's have this conversation then. So he says, as a man, no other man can pump my wife gas. Right. Okay. Oh, when I tell you, like, let me tell you something. I will never forget. Like, my second husband is very different than my first husband. Okay. Very different set of values. Well, I guess the thing is, my second husband is a black man, and I'm not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing, you guys. So, he said, for men believe the only value a woman holds is her youth, beauty and dress. Of course, that type of man runs the risk of having his pockets run. No, I really think it's all types of men thing, though. Really. But my second husband, he was like, you know, he's the guy that you typically would have to ask to do things. My first husband, you don't have to ask him. You know, he's going to do all the things that men do, right? You don't have to ask him anything. But it's not to take away. Like, my second husband was great, but you would have to say a thing for him to kind of catch on. Obviously, I don't know how to pump gas. I've never pumped gas a day in my life. Just not doing it. Not my job. I'm a woman. So I remember this one time that we were on the phone, and typically my first husband, he would pump the gas, make sure everything is good to go. And I wouldn't know when he would be taking care of these things because that's his business, right? So if I wasn't deployed and I was home, I never had to worry about having gas in the vehicle that I drove off, you know, with. So all of them would be gassed up. So, if I needed a driver, then I would use a driver. If I wanted to go somewhere and hang out with the girls and I wanted some private time, then I would do that. And I would always have gas in the car. These are just basic things for me. It's what I'm thinking, right? Very young in that marriage. And so going into the second marriage was very different. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, you know what? You're not going to pump the gas. I'm just going to leave. You know what I mean? And I remember one time we were on the phone after I left, and he was just like, wait, are you asking somebody to pump the gas? He got in the car, and the guy told me, you know, he was like, yeah. He was like, you got a number? You got a number? Can I get the number? Blah, blah, blah. I got you as soon as I come out of here. He went in there. He was waiting in the line. No lies told, my husband was there. By the time he came out of the gas station. Now, me, I'm not even thinking. I didn't even give it a second thought. Like literally, I'm just waiting on a dude to come out to pump the gas. I'm sitting in the driver, never got out of the car. I just rolled the window down. And so when he pulled up, he was just like, "No, I got it. Like you don't have to ask another guy to pump. What you got? What he coming over here for? What he want to get a number?" I'm like, what? No, I don't know. I just, it's just amazing to me the way you men work, right? But the interesting thing is this woman is saying she's got this guy. And for Kevin Samuels, a person who has had that long-term struggle and finally made it to a position in his life to where he could actually acquire some level of comfort in his reflection when he looks at his pockets, bank account, blah, blah, blah. Life maybe looks a little different for him. And maybe he's like, damn, I worked really hard to get here. I've had to blame, shame, and so many women to be seated in my position. Same thing with so many guys to be seated in this position in life. And I'm still not just throwing my money out to some female just because she looked good. So, excuse me. Then I don't even think with her, he never even gave her a rating, did he? I don't think he did on his original show. Because he already knew like that wasn't gonna fly. And it's really interesting because and I thought it was interesting how he was so respectful to a woman that is in her line of work. And every time he finds a woman who is educated, hardworking, and expecting this guy to come sweep her off her feet, and even if she doesn't have any kids, because he disrespected the woman with no kids, and she's a woman that has a kid, by the way. She has a, what did she say, teenager? 11-year-old, 12-year, I don't know. A kid who's, yeah, he almost grown, but he 11 years old. That's what she said. Okay. So that's her kid, and it's a boy. She has a son. And Kevin was more respectful to this woman when she was on his show than the woman with no children, making it well within the six figures and expecting a guy to come and, court her, making six figures. And he called her a bitch, all out of her name, everything, disrespected her the entire time, and told her her parents didn't teach her how to be feminine enough because she was raised in a home with both her parents. But then her mom told her to wait until she had finished with school to try and get married and stuff like that. So I find that to be very interesting. Okay. When it comes to accountability components, I really, really, really feel like this is a result of the type of monstrosity in which not only Kevin Samuels, because I'm just going to be honest, okay? Kevin Samuels is nobody. The further I dig, the more disappointed I am. Or whatever. The manosphere has created space for a woman's sphere, whole different type of feminist movement to exist. And these feminists don't believe that men have value outside of what they can provide financially for the woman. And the other component is this: men continue to say, if a woman doesn't bring anything to the table, even Adam in his interview with this young lady, right? He says to her, well, my girl makes a shitload of money. But even a woman that wasn't bringing anything to the table, but she's at home watching the kids and stuff, I could understand a man taking care of her. So is it that she doesn't bring anything to the table, or is she watching the kids, making sure the kids are good, making sure your legacy is protected, bringing forth knowledge, educating your kids? Like, all of these things are values. And you said her kid and her boyfriend will be homeless messing with me. No, Mr. Brooks, you can't be Indian giving. No reneging. Nay, that's not right. But no, seriously, like the thing is, you have to make it make sense for me. So guys that say a woman has no value, she's not bringing anything to the table. The reality is, you just have not been conditioned to understand the leadership position and the followership position of the woman in the relationship. I think that if you were better suited for relationships, you would understand that everything that a woman has to offer, whether it is financial or not, is of value to you in your seated position of leadership in your relationship, because you are the figurative head. You are not only the representative head of the system, but actually the leader of this system. And in order for her to submit properly to your authority, oversight, and insight and love, she has to be able to trust that that's a viable decision based off of the fact that you value her. You see what I'm saying? And I know, like Adam mentioned, like these relationship conversations are getting so old. I'm so bored. Yeah, because you guys are more entertained with fuck me here, fuck me there, fuck me everywhere, and how many times you can fuck me, and then what am I going to pay you? The reality is, people have to mature to a greater level of understanding where they realize that the value of a man and the value of a woman is not inside of sex. So sex is great. Sex is amazing. It's meant to keep you balanced, tethered, energetic, okay, in love with life, constantly pursuing your purpose, um fulfilled in life, if you will. Sex can release so many positive, responsive chemicals in your brain, right? And so the thing is, sex does a lot, but so does exercise, you know, so does smiling. So my point in all of this is this: we all have to be equally accountable. If people are going out there subscribing to city girl, hot girl, pretty girl, whatever this girl's thing is, then bless their heart. I really hope, because she did say in this video, she was like, I really hope that every girl becomes like me. Like, that's literally what she said. And I just hope that's never a reality, at least for my daughters. I mean, they're all of them are almost grown now. So he said, that is the thing, Dr. Jeffrey. Men like Adam 22 don't value child rearing and homemaking. Those kind of men see those things as are a woman's job. Right. So why do you think that? And there's nothing wrong with that being the woman's job. Okay. The thing is, if you feel like that's the woman's job, right? Why do you think the woman should be valuing the fact that you're bringing financial stability to the relationship? Because that's the man's job. You're supposed to protect and provide. So just like you don't identify that my skill set of continuing your legacy is of value and something that I'm bringing to the table that's tangible, then I mean, likewise, I could easily say that, well, you know what? Your finances are not tangible, really. They're just a part of what you come with. You're supposed to come with that. That's what you're supposed to come bearing, gifts of fertility, so that our legacy continues to grow and is stable and we're provided for. So that is my conversation. That's my late night show for the evening, you guys. Man, shout out to the chat. I hope this conversation hasn't been too tough for you guys, because let me tell you, it has definitely been a tough one for me, because I'm just like, whoa. Absolutely floored. Absolutely floored at the I'm floored at the fact that this young lady is able to articulate herself so well and continue in her argument, seated and rested in her femininity, regardless of what these men try to do to tear her down. Now, this is definitely the type of energy that I want to see across the board in women. And I like the fact that she doesn't have to tear men down to do it. I just feel like, this my personal views of her occupation or lack thereof, I guess, are of no consequence. But I just, Life is hard, you guys. Well, live well, be careful out there, be safe in these streets. Don't go out there spending your money and paying to play or paying to lay or paying for another day, whatever it is you're paying for. Just stop it. Learn to value the true essence of a woman. Okay, and learn to value the true value and leadership and strength of a man, ladies. That's really all I got, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it in for the night. See you guys later. Bye.
Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I rip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bonnet. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. Phenomenon.